Come Revolution, are we going to get the Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers? The Elite Maniac Podcast is here, and we're going to be discussing AEW Dynamite in just a second, so stay tuned. What's up, people? Welcome to the Elite Maniac Podcast, first ever episode where we discuss all things that's AEW. I am Mex, aka WrestleManiac UK.
I'm Mike, aka Elite News 1.
We've got an awesome show ahead, guys. Great episode of AEW Dynamite last night. And we're going to review the whole show. We're going to answer your questions. But first, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. And for all our audio listeners, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow whatever your podcast platform requires you to do to make sure you keep up to date with us. And make sure you leave us a 5-star review as well. Mike, how you doing?
Good. It's good to be on here. I've always dreamed of doing a broadcast on Spotify, and it's finally happening. So I'm happy today, and I'm happy to be doing this.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's been overdue. You know, Mike's been on my channel. We've worked together on a couple things a couple times now, so it's been overdue. We wanted to bring you guys a AEW dedicated show every Thursday. This is where it's gonna be, guys. So whether you're gonna be watching on the YouTube channel, on Facebook, or listening on your podcast platform, you can catch this show. Big up, massive shout outs to everyone that's in the comments watching live right now. Mike, I don't think we've got anything else left to do apart from jump right into the show. What are you saying?
Let's do it. Thank you, everybody who came on. Yes, like we said, please show us some love. We'll bring you the best content every Thursday, and we'll get right into it. Dynamite from yesterday. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
Overall, I thought it was a good show. A lot of energy compared to the week before, where I think some things fell flat. You know, it's one of those ones where we're building up to something. This is the Dynamite before Beach Break.
Beach Break.
So it was bound to be something pretty interesting to get us looking forward to Beach Break itself. What did you think?
Well, this is my favorite time of year, in my opinion, for AEW. Last year, the build-up to Revolution, I thought that was like some of the best television I ever saw. And we're starting to get those stories and that action and that build-up. And last night was definitely a strong point. And I was pumped. I was pumped watching that show. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool. So, you know, do you want to take us through the show? Starting with the first match on the card?
Let's do it. First match that we had on the card was Eddie Kingston versus Murderhawk Monster Lance Archer. We had some technical difficulties for people streaming on the TNT app, which I was doing because the cable box was out of use last night. So I missed a little bit of it. Tony Khan was nice enough to put the whole video on YouTube, so I caught up with it. But it was a pretty solid match. I thought, you know, some of the high points of the match were we really saw Lance Archer's strength. He hit a choke slam from the entrance ramp into the ring, which is not easy to do. He did a ripcord choke slam, and then we saw him walking the ropes and do a moonsault. And someone that's like almost 300 pounds hitting a moonsault off of the rope, that's hard to do. I mean, I can't even imagine doing that. So he was super impressive last night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those two, and you know, it looks like it's a throwaway match, but these guys have been feuding for like 3 months.
Yeah, when
you think about it, so you know, as we always say, nothing that happens on AEW TV is filler. Nothing's throwaway. Everything's been built up. I like the fact that Eddie Kingston won. Kind of extends the story, especially in the manner he won. Lance Archer could have done with a win as well.
Yeah.
But, I think it's the right choice in terms of where the story is.
So both of these guys, what's interesting is that I think both of them need a win. You know, we've had Lance lose a couple high-profile matches, and then Eddie, obviously, he's coming off that big loss from Pac. a couple weeks ago, and Jon Moxley from the pay-per-view. So they both could use a win. But the way that it was done, it protected Lance Archer and made Eddie a super heel. So what happened, for those that didn't watch it, we saw Butcher and Blade come out. They brought out an injured Jake the Snake Roberts, Lance Archer's manager. So I guess they had been beating him up in the back. This distracted Lance, who obviously cares a lot for his manager, and allowed the bunny, Allie, to slip Eddie Kingston what appeared to be some kind of metal slug. And it allowed Eddie to backhand Archer in the face. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, he didn't really hit him. But then Lance had a big welt on his eye. So it looks like Eddie did connect with a back fist, and that's got to hurt. So he hit him with that. Lance was knocked out cold, and Eddie was able to secure the pinfall victory for the win in a dirty, cheating way, which sort of sets up another match in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I like Lance Archer, man. I'm still in the camp that I think he should have kind of been, when he was brought in really hot, I thought he should win the TNT championship. I understand now. Yeah, I fully understand now why it was important for it to be Cody, just for the legacy and to give that belt the prestige it needs. But yeah, I'm still dying and chomping at the bit for them to do something really substantial with Lance Archer. Yeah,
I agree. I think that he could be a great title holder, maybe even a tag team. But he's very good. He's solid, and he's part of the camp of big men that can move. And I think that's really important in AEW, that they don't have these like monsters that we saw a few years ago. I'm not going to name anyone's name in specific. I don't want to be a hater, but we had these huge guys that really didn't have any athletic ability in the ring. That's not happening anymore. Look at Archer, Cage, all these guys. They're doing backflips at 300 pounds. It's insane.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. So that was the opening to the show. Really good opening. Do you want to give your star ratings?
Yeah, I give this 3.25 stars out of 5. Solid opener match.
Yeah, I think I'll go with 3.25 as well. Pretty entertaining, hard hitting as well. And, the finish kind of told us that more is going to be on the horizon.
Yep, definitely. After that, we had a promo from Jon Moxley, former AEW world champion, who the belt was taken from by Kenny Omega and Don Callis. He called out the Elite, the Good Brothers, and Don Callis. He said there's too much drama with you guys to effectively work as a team. And that's a really good point, because, we've seen on BTE and the Road to series that the Bucks don't really like the Good Brothers, or maybe they're just working together to get the job done. And then we have Kenny acting like a total kind of a jerk with Don Callis. He said that his team is going to be cohesive, and he loves 6-man tag teams. So he asked Pac and Phoenix to saddle up, because they're going to go pretty insane at Beach Break.
Yeah, I think this was a really good promo. He said something in it that just made me laugh.
Yeah.
I'm a really simple man. I like my water, room temperature. What else did he say? I know he said that I like
his beer cold, sex in the morning, because it wakes him up. Yeah, he's a character. And these promos, he's dropped some pretty important. I mean, he announced his wife pregnancy on a promo. He's a good promo cutter.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely one of the best in the game today, and one of the best in AEW. And he, even the reference of I like a 6-man tag, obviously going back to his days in the Shield and stuff like that. This match is going to be a banger. The main event of Beach Break next week.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that completely. I can't wait for this, and it's going to be interesting to see Moxley in a tag team, because I could be wrong here, but I don't remember the last time we did or ever saw him in a tag team. He was supposed to fight with Darby a couple months ago during a Dynamite when fans were still around, but the Inner Circle attacked Darby, so it was literally attacked him, so it was literally Darby alone in the ring. So first time in a while, we're going to be seeing Mox in a tag team situation, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
That was a good promo. Yeah, it got me hyped for the match, and it led into another promo, which seems to be the trend in AEW. We'll do a match, and then there'll be a couple promos in a row. But this was Darby Allin, the current TNT champion, and the Icon Sting, who are now kind of an impromptu team thrown together for the street fight at Revolution in March, taking on Team Taz, and I believe it's going to be Brian Cage and Ricky Starks fighting Darby and Sting. Yeah. And what are you looking forward to this match, or are you not really wanting to see Sting get back in the ring?
So I'm looking forward to the match. I hope, with the fact that they're going to, it's a street fight, I can only assume they're going to cinematic, do it like that and kind of protect Sting. I just didn't like this promo.
You didn't? Okay. We differ a little bit here, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I just didn't, I'm a hoodlum, you're a hoodlum. Let's smash windows with skateboards and bats. Like, I just thought it was just a bit lame. And another thing that I've come to realize, like, don't get me wrong, Sting is a really good promo.
Yeah, he can cut a promo.
Sting is brilliant when he is just dead silent and ominous and, in the bleachers, or he just comes out with the bat and says nothing, gives you the look. I just, this whole promo, especially with the hoodlum references and stuff, it just didn't work for me personally.
This was kind of like the whole, like, I'm kind of like goth, like an outcast. But I thought it was kind of cool because it was like, this was what you were back in the day. This is what I am now. We're kind of similar. Mm-hmm. I'll mention this because I'm tired about hearing it. People are, when is Sting going to do something? I hear this constantly online. But if you remember when he came to Nitro in the 90s, he did like the rafter thing where he would just stare for like a year before he got in the ring. So we're getting him in the ring. It took like a month and a half, so I don't think it's that much to ask. But yeah, they were calling each other hoodlums. Darby said he was a hoodlum. Then he said, you're a hoodlum too, and you're no different than me. Sting kind of agreed with him for a second, and then Darby threw his skateboard through the window. Sting used his bat, and Sting said that he's ready for Revolution. So these guys are good to go for the match. I want your opinion, though, on the criticism that a lot of people are giving, saying AEW fans have argued for the last couple of months that we're all about young, up-and-coming talent. Now Sting's here. How is this any different from Goldberg in that situation?
It's very different because, Sting is being used in a mentor capacity for Darby Allin and probably the guys backstage. He's also being used, yes, for a pop, a mainstream pop, a casual fan pop. That's in ratings and in interest. But the thing is, Goldberg in WWE, he's just being shot straight to the title. Mm-hmm. And that is where, the pipeline of future upcomers will come to a stop because there's this hill called Goldberg they need to climb first. So it isn't very productive in that sense. That's the main difference. AEW know how to use these older guys in a capacity that makes sense, which doesn't stunt the growth of the business and of the younger talents.
I agree.
WWE still very much rely on these guys.
And I've said this since the beginning of my account, and it was evident last night with this promo that AEW has brought back the importance of the manager, the cornerman, the second of someone going in the ring. It's important. Now we have a job for legends to do, to come back and be of use and be of importance. I think that, we have Darby Allin and Sting, but it doesn't have to stop there. Sting could recruit, maybe create his own faction. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Sting could potentially do as a leader, just like Taz is doing, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. So I'm pumped for this, and I'm looking forward to the match. I think that it's going to be good and probably a little bit cinematic.
I mean, it sounds a bit corny, but what would you think with this whole face paint thing being a thing? What would you think if, in terms of your idea, Sting recruited Thunder Rosa?
I like it. That'd be awesome. I'm all for putting some of the women's roster into these men's factions, because a lot of these women, what people don't realize is this isn't like other promotions. A lot of these women have started wrestling in these indie promotions that go up against guys.
Yeah.
So they're in the ring with, like, look at Eva Lisa's Lucha Underground matches. She was a trios champion with Angelico. So it's intergender. These people can handle it. Thunder Rosa can handle it. Statlander. That's what I think AEW has the advantage with in their women's division. So I'd love Thunder Rosa to be in that, whatever we want to call it, that new Sting faction. It's cool. The face paint crew.
I think they'll need a better name than that. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to ever see one day if AEW crossed the intergender line, because then obviously there's a lot of possible heat that could come with doing something like that, despite us knowing that they could probably do it very safely. There's always going to be someone that's going to say, this might resemble something that looks like domestic violence. Or
it's a gray area.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe we'll delve into that in another episode, because that is a good topic to talk about. But right after this Darby and Sting promo, we saw the redemption match of Chris Jericho teaming up with MJF to take on the Varsity Blondes, because Jericho has been getting destroyed on Twitter for the last week. I don't know if you saw any of that.
I did. Obviously, the talk of the town was his lion salt. Now, just on that lion salt that he done last week, the minute he went to do it, I said, oh God, this is not going to end well.
No, not going to end well.
He didn't run up to the rope. If you watch it back, if you haven't, anyone, he just was at the ropes. He turned around, faced the ropes, jumped on the second rope, and tried to bounce. He is clearly a bit on the heavier side right now. He isn't this young guy that he was when he first started doing the lion salt. So obviously he didn't get the rotation correct because he didn't have the momentum. When he laid out, was it Brian Pillman Jr. last night with the Judas effect? He ran at that rope, jumped off, and done probably one of the best lion salts I've actually ever seen him do.
Oh, yeah, that was, dude, he stuck the landing. I know we just kind of jumped through the match. It was a solid match, but really what you got to take away from this was the ending. I think that's the most important thing of this match. We did see the Varsity Blondes, Pillman and Griff Garrison, put in a hell of a performance, and I'm super proud of both of them. I think they are an up-and-coming tag team that are establishing themselves. But Jericho knocked Pillman's block off with that Judas effect at the end. Like, it was hard. You could see it connected. Then he springboard, hit the lion salt, pinned him, and then stared right into the camera like, what now?
Yeah, okay. Grinning down the camera, like, addressing the haters. I guess it's not deserved, but Chris Jericho is getting a lot of stick these days. He's getting body shamed a lot and all kinds of stuff. So this was a little chance for him to get a bit of revenge.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I mean, and if you're gonna call the guy out, like, maybe, like, I understand he's been doing concerts and, like, we're in a pandemic. I kind of get that. Like, don't go after him about his body, because, like, I don't know, like, unless you're a professional wrestler or you're in the gym all the time, like, who are you really to say anything about that? Like, the guy obviously can still go. So I just think that's a little bit wrong. And I was happy to see that last night. Like, I saw that Cornette tweet that they were really going at it with each other. So I don't know, maybe this silences people, maybe it doesn't. But to me, it was a good match. And I'm happy to see him not botch that again,
Yeah. Like I said, I think that's probably one of the best lion salts I've ever seen him do. The one you done last night, so yeah,
for sure. What did you have this match at in terms of star?
Varsity Blondes versus Jericho and thing. 3 stars. I thought it was a solid match. MJF was really entertaining at the beginning, getting frustrated with Griff Garrison, walking out the ring, going to get the chair. MJF is going to be gold one day, literally.
Dude,
he's fantastic already. But yeah, 3 stars for me. What about yourself?
I would agree with that, but I'd bump it up a half a star, and that's only because in the beginning, when MJF came out and was like wanted Griff Garrison to give up, that was a reference to a couple months ago when he went one-on-one with Griff Garrison in what was supposed to be a squash match, and Griff would not give up, and it really pissed off MJF. So I thought that was a cool ending to the story. Yep.
Yeah,
So
that was
3.5. Good. And Griff and Brian have gotten pretty damn good in the last couple of months.
That's true. Yeah,
So
yeah.
add another one to the already heavy tag division of all Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, and I'm having a great time. I hope the listeners are liking our takes on this show. We had Pac, someone from your neck of the woods, come on and do his promo. And what's interesting about this promo was it looks like he was in his house in Newcastle. So I don't know when he cut this promo because I thought he was in the U.S.
Well, he's going to have to be in the US because he's got a match next week, doesn't he?
It definitely was his house in the United Kingdom. I could be totally wrong, but he was cutting promos from that same location when he was stuck over there. So maybe he did this a couple months ago, but we had a promo. He called Omega and Callis clowns. He said what they're doing with the Good Brothers of attacking people from behind is wrong. It's like a coward thing to do. And he said, you know what? They're going to beat them at Beach Break. And, this is going to be a pretty competitive match. I don't know who's going to win. I really don't. What about you?
I think Kenny and the Good Brothers will win. They are the team. Moxley is very loosely affiliated with Pac and Ray Phoenix, despite Ray Phoenix and Pac obviously being affiliated. So I think that Kenny Omega and Good Brothers get the win. So
I like what you said with that. They're loosely affiliated. Maybe a loss isn't going to kill them.
Exactly. It won't.
And it could build up something greater at Revolution, possibly. But you are right. Kenny and the Good Brothers are red hot right now. Mm-hmm. We have the AEW World Champion teaming up with the Impact Tag Team Champions, which I think it's getting more and more prestigious by the week with good showings from Impact. So it's going to be a good show, and I can't wait for Beach Break, and I can't wait for Revolution.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You're gonna. I guess the next segment you're gonna talk about, which is gonna be probably one of the biggest matches on the Revolution card. That's the Cody replying to Shaq. So I'll let you take it.
Yeah, man. So we just talked about possibility of intergender matches. We are getting sort of one at Revolution. Now, Cody came out and Shaq called Cody out on the AEW award show on Bleacher Report. Shaq said, "You're a punk. You got blonde hair. You look like a little girl. You want the Shaq attack? Anytime you want, name it. We'll do it in March if you want." Cody came out and he deferred his answer to legendary coach Arn Anderson, who apparently decides everything for Cody. Apparently, he chewed out Cody for taking Peter Avalon too lightly, so his word means a lot to Cody. He brought up this awesome story about Dusty Rhodes, who traveled on a plane to fight Tully Blanchard in a match, then hopped back on a plane and flew cross country to see the birth of Cody Rhodes, his son. Cody was tearing up. It was a great moment. So Arn asked him to consider the possibility of doing this match and the exposure that it would get AEW having someone like Shaquille O'Neal. But Cody said he doesn't have a partner because circumstances happen and Brandy's pregnant. So who is going to fill in the gap? And I'll let you take that. Who's the partner?
It is Red Velvet.
There we go.
One thing I've got to say, Red Velvet's promo was really cool, really believable. She came with the fire. Obviously, she has been somewhat being mentored, managed by Brandy in recent weeks before Brandy has not been on TV. So, and yes, she's been involved with Jade Cargill a lot. So she was like the perfect person to fill this spot. I've just seen NK in the comments say Red Velvet was looking fire emoji.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Look, at the end of the day, one thing I would say, one little criticism I would say, is they should have done, because Red Velvet is clearly just a plug in this hole. This should be Brandy, and we all know it. I just feel they maybe should have told a bit more in the way of, Red Velvet may be saying that Brandy was my mentor, Brandy was my manager. I'm not having this disrespect, and that's why I'm batting for her. I know that's basically what they're doing, but I think, rather than making her feel so much like she's just filling a gap.
Yeah.
They could have just told it a bit better. But this was really good. One other thing I've got to laugh at. Arn Anderson says to Cody, this and this date, whatever it was,
Yeah.
Your dad did this, he had a match, and then he flew over to wherever. Do you know what this date is? Are you telling... Cody said no. Does Cody not know his birthday? Does Cody not know his birthday?
Yeah, you're right. So that story was
said, whatever,
right?
18th of March, 1979, whatever it was, he said. Your dad did this and flew over to here.
Okay.
Do you know what that date was? Cody said no. I was thinking, what? If this is the story of your birth, then that's your birthday. Or maybe the day before your birthday. Yeah, like I literally laughed. Once it, the penny dropped in my head, I literally laughed. But other than that, I thought this was a really strong segment. Interesting to see a team. I think we knew we were going to get Jade Cargill and Shaq on one team, but with both of their kind of limited experience in the ring, that I think that's very interesting that they're going to be on one team. And then Red Velvet has basically went from AEW Dark all the way to Revolution pay-per-view. Like
one of the main events.
Yeah.
Cool rise for her.
Yeah, amazing opportunity.
I agree. I'm excited for this match. There's just a little bit of a height difference between Jade and Red Velvet and a little bit of a size difference. So we'll see how it plays out.
Exactly.
We had a little bit about Kip and Penelope's wedding. Basically, we're all invited next week to their wedding on Beach Break. So look out for that. All right.
I don't care about this at all.
Me either, but I want to see Miro.
Yeah, literally.
Hangman Adam Page versus Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's brother in his AEW debut. Skip Dark all the way to Dynamite, which is not very common. Had his own Road to AEW Dynamite promo. And he gave it his all. He started out really cocky. Didn't get too many moves in. Page hits huge moves. His springboard lariat, over the top rope crossbody. He was beating him with chops. And at one point, Ryan Nemeth's chest was absolutely beat red. He did land in a spike pendulum DDT on Hangman Page, which was nice. It was a cool move. And then hit a German. Hangman landed on his feet, hit a spinning discus, punch in the face, then a buckshot lariat, took Ryan Nemeth out. So the winner of this match was Adam Page. A lot of people I talked to were kind of underwhelmed with Ryan Nemeth, but I thought that this guy had charisma. I really liked his promo. And sometimes, I'll admit this, there's people that come on AEW and they just strike something with me, and I'm automatically attached to them. That's happened to like Brody and like Brandon Cutler. I'll always like root for those guys. I love Brody. I miss him. And Brandon, he's not that up in the card, but he's one of my favorite wrestlers. I really liked Ryan Nemeth's promo, and I want to see him back. I was impressed with him.
I've got one issue. He has charisma, like you said, 100%. He can go in the ring. I expect nothing less, being, of that ilk with his, he's probably got a wrestling background from high school as well, like Dolph Ziggler. My one issue is that this guy is basically a carbon copy of Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
He even sounds like him. Like, it makes sense, they're brothers. But, Dolph has been on our TVs for the best part of 10 years now. You're really going to have to do something to detach yourself from that. Change up something, even in like appearance wise. He's got the blonde hair, he's got the small briefs that like Dolph used to wear when he first burst onto the scene as a singles competitor in WWE. Something's gonna have to change so he's not so much affiliated with Dolph. And obviously we had Matt Hardy at ringside. And I actually was hoping Matt Hardy is gonna take Ryan as like, this kind of project and work on him. I thought that would be good. Instead, he went after Hangman, and that was good in itself. But I just think that I hope fans don't turn on Ryan thinking, he's too close to Ziggler.
I think some people have already, which is unfortunate. this was his AEW debut, so maybe there's room for him to grow. And that's what Cardona did. Let's be honest here. He came and he was like the same character as his WWE.
Yeah.
And it failed. Honestly, it was a letdown. So I don't know. The jury, I guess, is out, not yet out. If we see Ryan Nemeth come back, so
yeah,
I'm not sure.
What did you think of the Matt Hardy Hangman segment?
It was great. I feel so bad for Hangman. I've said this so many times. I think he's been mistreated completely by everybody, the Elite, FTR, AEW management. He's one of my favorites. He's another one of those guys that I'm attached to. I love him. And Hardy said the Elite burned him. He didn't deserve that. And then said, you deserve to be happy because you're a good person. So I noticed you're not dressing in a locker room. I don't know where he's dressing. Maybe he's getting the Miz treatment and have to dress in the bathroom. But he said, if you want to dress in our locker room with Private Party, you're welcome to. So I don't think Hangman's going to do anything now because he said no to Dark Order.
Yeah, that's true. I did think maybe, it's a thing where obviously we know Matt Hardy has had a thing in the past with alcohol abuse and stuff, and maybe they may not go all the way WWE go with it, but ever so slightly kind of play on that with Matt Hardy's, basically putting an arm around Hangman saying, look, this drink is going to lead you down a destructive path. Come and join me and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that might be a way they can tell their story if that's what they're going to do. But this was that's really good.
Take. Yeah, I agree with that. That'd be a cool story. Maybe not full blown Jeff
exactly.
DUI, but something like that. Yeah, but we all have a little sympathy for Hangman Adam Page, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Before we move on to what is one of the matches that we knew was going to blow us away this week, Jungle Boy versus Dax Harwood. Guys, please make sure you have subscribed to the channel, like the channel, leave us a review if you're listening on your podcast platform of choice. And yeah, Mike, let's jump straight back in to the action in the ring.
Yeah, we had Dax Harwood taking on Jungle Boy with Tully Blanchard, Luchasaurus, Cash Wheeler, the seconds of all these guys handcuffed together so that they couldn't interfere in the match. And it was a little weird when I heard that, but what a damn match that these guys had. And JR had an interesting quote. He said, quote, Dax Harwood would be successful in any era of wrestling. Unquote. 100%. I thought that's so true, right?
100%.
He's just a classic guy. That's what they were calling him last night. Classic Dax Harwood. But these guys absolutely went at it. They were exchanging brutal hits between each other. Chops, kicks, super kicks, lariats, power bombs. They were fighting for control. So at one point I said, Jungle Boy had the advantage, then Dax had the advantage, then Jungle Boy had the advantage. It was just back and forth, and you really couldn't tell who was going to win. When we came back from commercial break, that's when the match really got into full freaking gear. And I wrote down on my pad that Dax landed a DDT for 2, and at this point I wrote, holy, holy, holy. It was just nuts. Jungle Boy hit a diving crossbody for 2, then these two started rolling each other up. We didn't know who was going to get the pin. Jungle Boy finally, though, after trying for like 5 minutes, locked in his snare trap finisher. Now, Dax rolled out of it a little bit, but Jungle Boy got the crippler crossface in, and we saw Tully Blanchard and Cash reaching to try to help Dax Harwood, but Luchasaurus was just sitting there like a stone, and they couldn't do anything. And to everybody's surprise, Dax Harwood submitted. He tapped out, and Jungle Boy got the victory, putting Jungle Boy over, I think, for the first time, finally giving him a legitimate win. And the last thing I'll say for this is what a great idea it was to buy that song for him, because the whole crowd was singing it. And when we get fans back, that'll be like Nakamura with the 100%. Everyone's going to sing this song. I was so impressed with this match, though. What about you?
Yeah, it was mind-blowing. It's crazy how good Jungle Boy is. It's crazy how good as a singles wrestler Dax Harwood is. Even the little bits of storytelling where you see Cash on the outside, hands through the ropes because he's a tag team wrestler.
Yeah.
Looking for the tag for his partner. His partner's never had to kind of deal with issues on his own in a match. It's just brilliant, man. It's just so good. This is where AEW are so superior, putting these kind of matches together. And especially, it doesn't take anything away from Dax Harwood because he's a tag team wrestler that's found himself in a singles match. He didn't come out on top. He's still a badass. We all know it. They're gonna go back and forth probably a few more times, maybe with the rest of their teams, trade some wins. Like you said, man, Jungle Boy, absolute star. That Tarzan song, it's gonna cause them problems because literally when the fans come back and they're singing that and they're chanting his name and all of that kind of stuff, again, they are gonna force the hand of AEW to do something with this guy. He has so much like wisdom and experience beyond his age. Really interesting to see what he evolves into, like after the kind of Jurassic Express thing has like run its course.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. They're going to be forced to give him a little push. I think when the fans come back, him and Johnny Hungy, John Silver, who was in a later match, which we'll get to in a second, and that was also incredible. But I'm so happy for Jungle Boy. I know he's had a hard 2 years with the passing of his father. And for those listening, if you haven't seen it, I'd really suggest going to Amazon Prime Video and checking out You Cannot Kill David Arquette. It's the story of David Arquette, the WCW champion, which everybody hated. He redeemed himself by training, and there's a lot of cameos of him training with Jungle Boy, Peter Avalon, and Luke Perry, Jungle Boy's father. So I'm super happy for Jungle Boy. But you're right, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Tully, they weren't really put down because right after he got the submission, they beat the crap out of Jungle Boy in the ring, and Marco had to come out. They cut off the horns of Luchasaurus. It was nuts.
He just had scissors, and I just see him. I thought he was going to tear apart the mask with the scissors. He just cuts the horns. I'm just like, what a prick.
Dude, I felt so bad. He looked so stupid.
Yeah. What's your star ratings for the match?
5.
5.
I'm going to go with 5. I rarely do it on Dynamite anymore, but I rate what I like, and I like this. What about you?
Fair enough. No, I'm going 4.5. I'm here thinking, what else could I have got to get the extra half star? But I don't know. I don't want to give it a 5 just yet, but 4.5 is the best match we've seen on Dynamite this year. Probably the best TV match we've got in any promotion this year.
I liked it a little bit better than Omega Phoenix. I'm not gonna lie. I really liked it. So on my Instagram, if you guys are familiar with it, I do the star ratings. Some people complain. Well, they're not supposed to be exactly like Dave Meltzer. It's what I like. So I'm sorry if you disagree with some of them, but they're not like this scientific thing. It's just what I like and what I think you guys will like. So go check out that match if you haven't. What a show last night.
Yeah, brilliant match.
We saw Britt Baker looking real good last night, put on some muscle, it seems like, had some more in-ring ability, taking on Portugal or France's best athlete. I don't know what they were saying, Shanna, who's on a 6-streak winning streak on AEW Dark. Britt was impressive last night. I really thought so. She had a great dragging a sling blade on the outside. Right on the mat. Shanna was pretty hurt after that. She was putting knee strikes to Shanna's head. We saw her, hit a swinging neck breaker and all these different moves that she's put into her repertoire, I guess, from an increase in training. And I don't know about you, but I thought that she looked like she kind of filled out with more muscle, and she's looking like a good competitor. I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, 100%. I was looking at her thinking, has she got taller? But maybe she's just got bigger, like you said, somewhat. Really good match. Good to see Shanna back because we haven't seen her for a while on Dynamite. I'm guessing she got injured or she must have traveled home.
Maybe stuck. Yeah.
Good to see her back. And this was a really, really decent match. Obviously, we have Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa coming up next week on Beach Break. So that should be a really decent match as well. But Britt Baker is probably my favorite, one of my most favorite things in the women's division on AEW.
Yeah, I really like Britt Baker. This match was great. I was really impressed with it. It was a solid women's match. And sometimes it's a hit or miss kind of with AEW, but this was really good. And I'm just going to say it. I think she should get the belt. I'm kind of giving up on Shida here. I like her as a champion. I think she's a great wrestler, but she's like never present, and I just don't get what it's about. I know you've said it too. A lot of other people have said it. I just think Britt really is the face of the women's division, and it's time for her to excel and be rewarded for all the work. Even when she was injured, she was still relevant. So Britt won this match, though, with a solid lockjaw, kind of like what Mick Foley used to do, but with a dentist twist. I had this at a 4-star rating, and again, I know it's a little high, but I rate what I like. So this was a good women's match, and sometimes we don't get that, so I was happy to see this.
Yeah, 100%. This was for me 3 3/4, so nearly that 4. But yeah, I just thought it was a really good match. I was happy to see Shanna back, just filling out that women's division again. And I'm looking forward to Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is literally, gagging to get her hands on Britt Baker. So yeah, that's going to be a good match next week.
Yep, I can't wait. Thunder Rosa came out, obviously, to defend Shanna because Britt and Rebel were putting a beatdown on her. Yep. We're going to have that match next week. It should be really, really great. So I'm excited for that. We're also getting the return of Riho coming soon.
Yeah.
Taking on Serena Deeb in the women's eliminator tournament, which is USA versus Japan.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Very interesting how they're going to do that. I guess for them to do that, I'm guessing maybe travel from Japan is okay.
With a 2-week quarantine, so they're probably here right now or leaving soon.
Yeah, and I think AEW last night was pre-taped as well. So I think obviously depending on how they do it, they might have planned this out and done it all and stuff already. So good to see Riho back though next week or whenever we're going to see that match.
So maybe we're going to get some stardom in Tokyo Joshi Pro wrestlers like Yuka Sakazaki back and Emi, Rio. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some surprises. I'm still hoping that maybe B. Priestley comes back. I'd really like that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
we will have to see. Main event time. And after this, we'll get to some of your questions that you left. And I'm excited to do that. But Bullet Club. I mean, we're decked out in gear right now. Look at us. This is Elite Maniac Podcast, and we're thinking about making like a group chat maybe called the Elite Maniac Club.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But we had the Bullet Club, the Good Bros and the Young Bucks, who were OG Bullet Club founders, versus Dark Order, Silver, Uno, Grayson, and Reynolds. Before the match started, the Good Brothers referred to their group as the Bullet Club, which was the first time this has happened on AEW television.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if that's significant. It might be. It might not be. We'll just have to see. But it was cool. The Good Brothers came out to their Impact theme song, so we got that crossover going. And it was a solid match. I mean, there was just so much going on, but I was really impressed with Silver's moveset. Did you catch what he did in the ring?
John Silver is a national treasure at this point. Like, we have to protect that man with all costs.
I agree.
Doc Gallows as well, the big LG. He is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
This guy is on primetime TV. He walks out with his Impact Tag Team Championship swinging in between his legs.
Yeah.
Like, it's something else. I think you guys can do 1+1 with that one. It's just brilliant. He kneels down to take on John Silver. John Silver, he asks for the big man. LG's kind of, teasing him a bit. That run during the match where I'm not sure if it was off the back of a hot tag, but we saw something very similar to this in WWE some years back where Cesaro got a hot tag. And funny enough, the Good Brothers were involved in that. Cesaro just literally went round, smashing everybody in and out the ring, come back into the ring. John Silver done the exact same thing last night. John Silver they're in trouble when crowds come back because John Silver has to be in line for something.
And I'm going to call BS on the Dynamite Awards last night for not giving him male breakout star of the year. They gave it to Darby. Darby was already kind of like, I don't know, it's silver. In 2020, it was silver, and I will stand by that. And that move set that he hit was a clothesline, a back body drop, a cannonball, a European uppercut, a big boot, and then a tope con hero on everyone on the outside. So he took out everyone, and he's Hungy did his thing. Uno hit some impressive moves too. But ultimately, we saw the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks kind of dominate towards the end of this match. We saw a 4-way, too sweet super kick on John Silver. The Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer on John Silver. And then we saw the Bucks hit the Meltzer Driver on Stu Grayson, who did also have a good match. And they got the pinfall victory. So the winners of this match were the Bullet Club. After the match, they kind of said, we'll have a tag team battle royal at Beach Break. But if we're in it, if we win, we're going to select our champions, which is what's done at the G1 Climax. So maybe they're going to face the Good Brothers at Revolution. Who knows? What did you think about the ending, and what do you have this at?
This match was very, very fun. I felt like I was watching, those PWG matches of old. Yeah. And, the chemistry between the Bullet Club guys, it was as if they hadn't even been to WWE. It looked like they came straight from Japan, straight into AEW. Like, nothing was missing between these guys in the ring. I'll give this match 3 3/4 stars as well.
That's what I had it at too.
Yeah, it was a really fun match, really great way to end the show. Obviously, we've heard of now we're gonna have this tag team battle royal next week
at Beach Break.
At Beach Break, and that's what's going to determine the number one contenders. And if the Young Bucks win, they will choose their opponents, like you said. And they are kind of hinting that, we'll choose our good friends, the Good Brothers. Mate, I will tell you now, they're going to win. And if they win, they're choosing Motor City Machine Gun.
Really? That's a good prediction. I think it'll be someone from Impact. I agree with that. And you know what? I've been theorizing with this whole crossover. Omega's probably going to take Rich Swann's belt. Let's be honest. He clean pinned him. Like, that's probably going to happen at the next pay-per-view, which I think is next month. But if Impact gives away their world title, they're going to have to give something in return. So there's a possibility the Bucks lose those belts. So they should tread lightly with challenging somebody from Impact, I think. I don't know.
I think I think, they might do a swerve where, where Don Callis was like, oh, we're going to bring out Kenny's best friends. And we all thought it was going to be the Young Bucks, but it was the Good Brothers. They're going to be like, we're going to challenge the best tag team in the world. And the Good Brothers are going to think it's them. And I think it's going to be Motor City Machine Gun.
It's a good prediction. And Saban will probably be healthy by then. He's been out, I think, tested positive for COVID, missed probably the best Impact pay-per-view in the last 5 years, Hard to Kill, which was nuts. So that's sad for him, but Moose, man, filling in the gap, did great. So that was Dynamite. It was a good show. I had it in like the 8 out of 10 range. Definitely an improvement from last week. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I was hyped to watch it. It was a good show, I think.
Yeah. 8 out of 10 for me as well. Really fun, energetic show. Good go-home show going into this TV special, which is Beach Break next week.
Half a pay-per-view. What you have?
But it was really good, and I'm looking forward to that. We got about 10 minutes or so left on the clock, so guys, we're gonna get into your questions, AEW related questions only. You can leave a question on either my Instagram or on Mike's Instagram, Elite News 1 or WrestleManiac.uk. That's where we pick them up for the show. So, Mike, do you want to take it away with the first question?
Sure. I guess I'll answer maybe my half. You answer the other half.
Yeah, how you want we can just have a quick conversation about the meet.
Okay, yeah, we'll go back and forth. All right. So we got from Mustafa Abdullah Official on my page. Who will debut next?
For AEW.
For AEW. Who do you think? If you had to pick a surprise guy.
Oh, that's a question.
I'll go with Moose. I think he's going to come on the show. I think that'll be the next surprise entrance because he said it at Hard to Kill. He told Callis he wants Omega's belt. So I'm going to go with Moose from Impact Wrestling.
Okay, that's a good guess. I'll leave it at that. I'm totally stumped as to who. I was thinking more of who's available and
who's available,
not tied down right now. But yeah, I think Moose is good.
No, I don't think there's that many free agents right now that I've heard of. So
like it. Trey Miguel was the last big one, I guess, and he looks like he's maybe just re-signed with Impact.
Yeah, but Impact, AEW, they're working together, so maybe we'll see him.
Yeah, exactly.
Drip Burrow says, who is your favorite Dark Order member? I mean, I got to go. It was Brody, obviously. One of my heroes in wrestling and life. I love that guy, but I'd say now it's Silver.
Yeah. For me, it's Silver. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm developing a little teeny weeny little crush on Anna Jay.
Oh yeah, who isn't these days?
Yeah, it's got to be Silver. The guy is just absolutely hilarious, man. He's so good, and I'm just happy from all his the long road on the indies and stuff. Him and Reynolds, they're really kind of getting the payoff now.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say also I agree with that, and I really like Preston Vance. I think he's gonna
be money.
Yeah, he's great, and I think he's really stepped up the last few weeks. From A-Dubs X, one of my best friends, original follower of my account, he says, I believe Hangman will be the one to dethrone Kenny. What do you think?
The story dictates that it has to be him. And I know it's not very much looking like, in terms of an AEW competitor, is going to be the one to dethrone Kenny right now. Obviously, he's got attentions on Impact and other stuff. He's running with the Good Brothers. But I think the story dictates it's got to be Hangman.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with that, and that's who I want to see dethrone Kenny. We got another question about Hangman and a little bit that's interesting, but question for both of us from just another Elite collector, also very big supporter of the page. Are you going to get into the AEW figures? For me, I can't find them anywhere. Over the summer, I was going to Walmart like on a daily basis after work, trying to find them. I couldn't find them. I found the stupid ring here. Whatever, and I
remember when you told me about that.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything. I have Japanese figures on the wall. That's all I have. I can't find them. What about you?
Have you checked eBay and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm not paying the price though. I want to go to Walmart and find the figures like when I was a kid. That's what I want to do.
Okay, yeah. Me, I'm not too into figures. What I plan to get into is belt collecting.
Do it.
That's what I'm gonna get around to that eventually. And when I do, I'm literally gonna have enough money to buy like 10 at one time. So it's coming. That's my thing.
Belt collecting is fun. You guys know me. I can't stop. I stopped for a little bit. So, I'm on pause right now. Peyton Privatera. This guy is a great friend of mine, and he does the Being Peyton Priv show on YouTube, which is very funny, kind of a Young Bucks being the Elite knockoff, but in his own way. So go check that out, guys. But he says, should the Young Bucks lose the tag belts to Gallows and Anderson? That's exactly what I was saying. I'm going to say no, but I think it's a possibility that it happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility given the story that they're involved in. I think, like you said, if Kenny Omega takes the Impact World Championship, then AEW will somewhat owe Impact something, and that might be the Tag Team Championships. And there is no shame in losing it to the Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm. But in probably actuality, they'll like maybe give away the women's title to Perazzo. Maybe I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Or Darby, but yeah, there's always possibilities. The Elite Daily. What's the main event going to look like at Revolution?
Very good question.
I think that maybe a rematch. I don't know. I think it's too early for the Kenny versus Moxley rematch.
You think it's too early?
Oh, Moxley's going to lose. Kenny's not going to win. Kenny's not going to lose the belt.
Yeah. I think that they can do the rematch and Moxley loses again.
Oh, no.
No. Unless it's Rich Swann. Unless they fully go with the Rich Swann.
Okay, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
That's what it could be as well.
Rich Swann and Omega for the Revolution main event. King Switch 776. Also a great follower, so is the Elite Daily. But who's the most underrated wrestler in AEW, and how do you think they could use him? Brandon Cutler for me, and I think that they should push him to team with Hangman.
Underrated. I'm gonna go with Scorpio Sky.
Yeah,
I think coming in, they had a lot of promise. SCU were obviously the first tag champions. He was part of that, him and Kazarian. And he's dropped that. He went on a streak on Dark, winning a few matches. He got himself into a TNT title picture. Lost that.
Bad ending. We've gone over that. Oh my god.
We haven't seen him since. We have not seen the man.
Or Spears. Where the hell is Spears?
Yeah, that Spears has had like 2 chances now. He came in hot, died a bit, came up again with Tully, just died a bit. Scorpio Sky for me though, he's off doing a podcast or something for AEW, I think, or AEW related podcast.
Yeah, they won't shut up about that. I'm dark.
I just think like, come on, man. He's got more to offer. That's who I'll go with, Scorpio Sky.
I really like Scorpio Sky too. And in the women's division, I think Eva Lisa is completely underrated. I always talk about her, and I get made fun of it for it, but she can go, and I think she'd be good in a men's faction.
Definitely. She's a lot.
Her and Diamante, yeah. All right, and you got a couple questions.
Yeah, I'll get through the rest of these, and we'll take some in the comments as well on the live chat. I'm a Fat Mark Weekly. Big up yourself, bro. He asks, what is the number one thing AEW needs to improve? I think this is fairly easy.
Booking themselves into corners.
Oh, they need to stop doing that, you think?
Yeah, I don't want to see Team Taz lose again to freaking Sting and Darby, and I know it's going to happen.
That is very true. I didn't even think about that. But
I'm tired of that.
They need to beat those guys. They need to beat Sting and Darby, but it probably doesn't happen.
No, they don't care about and then they do it sometimes. They do a lot of things good. They do that sometimes, like Scorpio Sky too with the TNT champion. You shouldn't challenge for it if you know you're gonna get squashed. I don't know, if you're on a push. Yeah, just do something else. Yeah. What do you think? What's your pick?
Number one thing I think they need to improve is the women's division.
I don't agree with that anymore.
You don't?
No.
No, don't get me wrong. I think it's improving. I think he's definitely moving in the right direction from when we last spoke about it. 100%, it's got better.
Okay, thank you.
But, it's not where it was 100%. But where we talked earlier of Shida, unfortunately, in this division is an afterthought.
Yeah, we need to improve the main event scene in the women's division too.
And maybe that's what it is. Britt Baker, we see her every week. She is nowhere near the championship picture, so to speak, right? Jade Cargill's come in hot. And she's got a match at Revolution. Red Velvet has jumped from Dark to Revolution. Right now, we don't even know where our women's champion is going to be come March and Revolution, and that's an issue. So I would say although it has drastically improved in the last few months, they still got some way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe some more signings. I wish they'd sign who. I don't know if they are. A lot of drama around the former Impact champion, but we won't get into that.
Les Morningstar, who do you think is the future face of AEW?
Ricky Starks.
Solid pick. Ricky Starks, Hangman Page, 100%.
Hangman too, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of them. There's so many of them.
Too many. MJF.
What a roster. MJF.
Yeah. There's a lot of choices there in terms of the men's division. Women's division, Britt Baker, I think will probably be there for quite a bit. I think I do see her eventually possibly going to WWE.
Don't say that.
It's just because I think it's where the women's wrestling is at the minute. Unless AEW drastically improve,
unless they make her an executive, have more of a role, which I think they might, because she is kind of involved with some backstage stuff. But I agree, Britt Baker for sure. Yeah.
We got one last question from the Instagram from Wrestle in Peace. He says, Yeah, big up Arpit all the time. He says, will Hangman really kick out of the One Wing Angel or not?
No. It'll be Kota Ibushi when they have the match because he's the only one that did it in the past. Yeah, there we go. What, you agree with that?
You know what? It makes sense for it to be Hangman as well. But like it's one of the two. It's either Hangman or it's Ibushi. Those are the only two people, in my opinion, that it could ever be. Thank you for everyone that left us a comment on the Instagram. Much appreciated. Thank you for everyone talking in the comments. We got a lot of love in the live chat. I'm just gonna go through and put some of the comments on the screen. Arpit here, Moxley's promo was his best from the last few ones. Yeah, like we both said, we both enjoyed that promo very, very much.
I like comedy, Mox. It's funny.
Daniel went on to say Jericho is a savage for the Lion Salt, 100% shot at the fans. I guess that's when he smiled down the camera. 100%, bro. NK, big up NK for tuning in. He said Red Velvet was looking fire emoji. Her promo was also very good segment for a few that I have no interest in. I honestly would prefer to see Cargill versus Red Velvet in a singles match. I think we'll get to that.
For sure. Yeah. And congrats to Red Velvet on her engagement.
Yeah.
Briscoe forgot his name. Wes Briscoe.
Briscoe, yeah. Yeah, and then obviously we had our bro Christian Camacho sending us some love. Awesome stream so far.
Thank you, brother.
NK again. Doc Gallows was hilarious in the segment that he was in. 100% agree, and says that John Silver has one of the best hot tags in the game.
Can I say something about Gallows?
Go on.
He said something the other day was him being the Elite that was freaking hilarious, and nobody saw it. Picked up on it. It was when they came to tag with Kenny and the Young Bucks were confronting them. And then they were like, why are you here in ring gear? And he was like, we thought the Impact tapings were in Orlando.
Yeah. I caught that. Gallows and Anderson, but especially Gallows, is literally having the time of his life.
Yeah, he's loving life.
From what's their pay-per-view called again?
Talking Shop Mania.
Literally, he is having the absolute time of his life, like since he left WWE, and it's good. It's good to see people, just be themselves and stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, guys, that was our show. Thank you for joining us for this first ever episode of Elite Maniac Podcast. Mike, you want to tell them where they can find you and that?
Yes, I'm on Instagram at Elite News 1. And my Instagram's always a little finicky. I'm usually there. Sometimes I'm disabled for the moment, but we should be good for that. So go follow me on there. Send me a message. I got Twitter, and it's all there on my link tree on the Instagram. So go click that, and you can find the podcast, the magazine I write for, all that stuff. So go check out my Instagram.
And like Mike said earlier, we're going to add a Discord chat very soon to that link tree where you can get us and we can just chop it up about everything AEW. And we're going to be looking to expand. We're going to be talking about New Japan, Noah, other stuff. But right now, we're giving you guys the AEW. This is the most official, unofficial AEW podcast to tune into, Elite Maniac Podcast. I'm Mex. You can find me at WrestleManiac.uk, where I talk all things WWE and AEW, and of course, watching on our YouTube channel. So yeah, that's the show. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Remember to smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, and for our audio listeners, which we love very, very much as well, please make sure you subscribe and follow us on your podcast platform of choice and leave us a 5-star rating. We will be back same time next week, talking Beach Break.
Beach Break, baby. Too sweet. Whoop, whoop.
Guys, take care. Thanks for tuning in. We'll speak to you later.